Oh my gosh. Hey, what's up guys? It's me, GelCubes, and I just finished my first interview with anyone, and it just had to be my complete idol, Cubing Encoded.
Hi, what's up? My name is Kevin Lee, aka Cubing Encoded. I make cubing videos, and yeah, let's get this done.
Hey, what's up guys? It's me, GelCubes, and today we're interviewing Cubing Encoded. So this is a really big deal to me because he's one of my biggest idols in cubing, or cubing for YouTube. So yeah, let's just get this started. So first question is, how does it feel to be a senior in quarantine?
Senior in quarantine. Yeah, so I remember when quarantine first started, I was a junior, and so everyone was like looking at the seniors during that time and being like, wow, they're not getting like their final year. But then as juniors going to senior year, now we're not getting our entire year. So that's interesting. But honestly, it's been pretty chill. First semester, I've just been working on college apps really. And it gives me a lot more time because online school is a lot less hours compared to normal school, so I have so much more time to work on college apps. Overall, like, it's a little bit disappointing that I'm not going to be able to like graduate normally, or go to like prom and homecoming like I normally would have, but it's not too bad. There's upsides and there's downsides.
Yeah, definitely. So on that topic, since you're also entering college soon, what are you planning on majoring in?
Majoring in marketing. So yeah, it's because of the channel. When I first started the channel, I remember like I liked making videos, but the main part I really liked about doing YouTube was like the marketing side of YouTube. I really liked finding ways I could like market out the videos in order to get more views, and so that's something I took a lot of interest in. And so right now I'm just basically applying to like a bunch of business related schools and like trying to study something like marketing. But if not marketing, then it's just going to be general business, because business is just something that I find really freeing. It has like that quantitative aspect that math has as well, or like engineering, but also has like the freedom that engineering sometimes doesn't provide. You could basically do whatever you want with as freely as you want, and so yeah, that's why I draw so closely to it.
Oh wow, I didn't expect that at all.
What were you expecting?
I don't even know, honestly.
No, I'm not trying to be a doctor or anything.
So you're entering early adulthood, so that means some things may change for cubing. So how will it all change for you personally?
Well, honestly, cubing has, right now at this moment, cubing is a huge part of my life. When I first started, cubing was like the coolest thing ever. Taking cubes all around the place, take them out to when I go out to eat or something like that, or like whenever I'm at like an amusement park, I'd bring it out. But then, in the middle, there was like a few years where cubing wasn't that big a part of my life. I was more focused on like, swimming and other stuff, like just other hobbies I had. But then at this moment, cubing is right back, where it is when I first started, if not like a bigger part of my life. I spent a ton of time doing it. I spent a lot of time making videos as well. And yeah, it's just like the biggest thing in my life at this point.
So that's really good that you've refound that interest in cubing again and that it hasn't died down during quarantine. So you started your YouTube channel at what age?
Started when I was 11 years old.
Alright, so what would you go back and tell your 11-year-old self?
Focus more on it, because when I first started, it was like my biggest thing, right? So like I put a ton of time into it. I was uploading a lot, but then around 2-3 years into it, I started uploading, like really like infrequently, like once a month. I started just focusing on other things in my life. And if I were to go back, I would say, hey, look, like you like YouTube, and it's going to be very, very useful in your life. I remember when I first started, I thought that YouTube wasn't really going to be that like beneficial for my like my adulthood life. It wouldn't really be that good for like in terms of like income, or like really good that in terms of like college jobs or something like that. But as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that like my YouTube channel is like the most important thing when it comes to income, and then also college jobs. It's super beneficial when it comes to all aspects of life. And so I would have told that 13-year-old, when I started uploading a little bit less when I was 13 years old, definitely try to focus a little bit more on it. I feel like I had like a decent spike when I first started, and throughout the middle I kind of went down again, and it took me a while to get back up. This year I was able to do that, but yeah, definitely when I was around 13, 14, definitely put a lot more effort into YouTube, because for a while it was like one of my smaller priorities, I feel like.
I'm glad that you've realized that now, because I feel like as time progresses, some YouTubers don't really realize how it'll benefit them in the future, because in the beginning they kind of think of it as like, oh, it'll only take me this far, but you really never know.
Yeah, you never really know like where you're gonna go with the channel, you know? Like that's why whenever I see someone when they're around like, 10 or 11, I always say start something like creative, start something new, and just stick with it because, who knows, like 5 years later, so many things could happen. I remember one of my college essays, I called it like the butterfly effect, and like the idea behind it was that when I first started the channel, I didn't really know what was going to happen with it. I had no idea what came in the future, but then, you know, 5 years later, and just from making that one video from the start, it was able to start this thing and then this and then this, and it was able to grow and grow and grow up to where it is right now. And so definitely just start whatever, when you're younger, start just doing something, and if you continue doing it, like I promise good things will happen.
That's a great mindset to have. And so you got sponsored quite early in your career as well. So how does that feel compared to when you were younger and compared to now?
Yeah, so I partnered up with Speakeasy Shop in 2017 or 16. But it was when I was around 2,000 subscribers, so still pretty small. And yeah, it's just been like a constant relationship since then. So they pay for all like my cubes ever since then, which has been super helpful in terms of doing unboxings and reviews. And it's just like nice having like that financial backing with Speakeasy Shop, just like paying for all the cubes, paying for all the puzzles, like just having that as something I don't have to worry about is a really big thing. And at the moment, Speakeasy Shop is a really big thing. I'm like, I tried to, advertise a discount code, and they give me cubes, and they also give me, like just a ton of things that help me out with the channel.
Oh, alright, I see. So, odd question, but earlier of your cubing journey, before you found any type of like professional lubes for your cubes, did you ever use Vaseline or oil or anything of the such?
I used water. Like, okay, so here's how I would set up my cubes, right? So I had like a Waylon or something, and like it would get a lot of like black residue, and so in order to fix that, like I would just wash it out with paper towels or like with water and like soap and stuff, and then I would start turning it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great, but then after a while it would just like go become the same thing. It's because I'm not actually using like real lube, and so afterward, like I graduated from using water. I started using like Mario lube, which made the cubes super super fast. And then afterwards, I started just using like weight eight, just like really heavy lubes from Speakeasy Shop, and I've just been sticking with that ever since then.
Alright, awesome. We don't want to ruin any cubes with water or anything.
Oh no, I've ruined my fair share of cubes already. Like it's already too late at this point.
Hasn't everyone done that?
That's true.
So now that there aren't any competitions here in California or anywhere really besides some of different areas, in hopes of 2021 getting better and we have competitions, do you have any specific goals for competitions?
Yeah, so at the moment, I got the YJ MGC 6x6 a few months ago, and that cube has just been magical for me. Like I use it every single day. I pray for like, I practice with it like hours a day, and it's just like it's an amazing cube. Like there's nothing wrong with it, honestly, except maybe pops a little bit. But other than that, like it's perfect. And so I've been practicing a ton with that. I've been able to drop like 20 seconds on 6x6. Yeah. So if I go like a 145 on 6x6, which is basically my average, then I'm probably going to be around like the top 20 in the nation. And so that's like a huge goal of mine. It would be really cool to do that. I'm not sure when I could actually compete. I would love to go to nationals and go to there, and also like just attend local competitions. That would be a lot of fun. I just want to compete, like I just really want to just go to competition, meet some more keepers again, compete, do some solves. I just want to do that so badly right now.
Yeah, a lot of people want to go to competitions, and like me, I haven't even had my first one yet, so I was really looking forward to it, but this pandemic's just out of control.
Yeah, just gotta wait a little bit longer.
Are there any other events you want to get into?
Honestly, no. At the moment, it's really just 6x6. Yeah, I'm the type of guy who I just do one event, which is 6x6. I do a little bit of 5x5, but not that much. I do a tiny bit of 3x3, but honestly, I haven't really been improving 3x3 over these past few years, like at all. And so it's basically just been 6x6. Like the thing is, I'm improving in 2x6 like so quickly. It seems like every single few weeks, I'm just getting another PB and another PB, and every single time, like, each PB like surprises me more and more. Like my PB average went from I think like a 140 something or like one. I think it was like a 155. It was a 155 average of three, and then I've been able to break that down all the way to a 133 average of three. And so like, if I could go to a competition and just perform like fairly well, and go around my average 6, I'm going to be able to like just like boost my rankings a lot. And I guess like in the end of the day, rankings don't really matter, but it would just be cool to have that like in my little profile, just saying like Kevin Lee and then like my national ranking. I just think that would be like a little neat thing. That would be really something fun to accomplish.
Definitely. So while on the topic of other events, about 4 months ago, I think, You posted a video of you attempting to learn blind, so how's that going for you? We never really got an update video, I guess.
Yeah, I quit. So here's the thing, right? So I started it, right? And I kind of got it, and I started practicing myself. But the thing is, I realized that this isn't why I started cubing. Like for me, my main benefit with cubing is that it's just a great thing to do when there's nothing to do. It's a great way to relax, great way to just sit back and just enjoy my time when I'm not working. And so when I'm trying to learn how to do blindfolded, that's not fun for me. It just feels like more like studying and more work. And I'm not trying to do that when I'm done with work. I'm not trying to learn algorithms on cubes. When it's not fun for me. So yeah, just overall, I was like learning how to do blindfolded, and I just stopped because that's just not why I cube. I cube because I want to have fun. I cube because I'm trying to lay back and relax. And blindfolded does not provide that in the slightest amount. I know that if I do solve a cube blindfolded, that first time solving a blindfolded is like a super satisfying experience. But I don't really need, I don't really care too much about that kind of stuff.
Okay, so would you consider cubing to be more of work or as a fun hobby you love to do?
Okay, so I would say speed cubing, just in terms of practicing, yeah, that's just something that I just do when there's nothing to do. I'm done with work, and then I sit back, like I watch YouTube videos in the background, and then I just play with Rubik's Cube. Like that's like my best way to like relax, other than just talking to friends. And so I love doing that. In terms of making videos, though, sometimes when I'm making a video, thinking of the idea definitely feels like work, and trying to find an idea to make, that feels like a lot of work. But once I actually get started with the video, once I get in like my mojo and everything, then it comes naturally. It's like just doing it as a hobby. At first, when I like before I start doing a video, I don't want to do it. I'm just like, obviously I'm feeling a little bit lazy, so not really in the mood to get my camera up and start making a video. But once I'm already making that video, once I'm editing, then I'm having a good time and it doesn't feel like work. Unless it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, then it definitely does feel like work.
What is your favorite aspect of cubing?
Favorite aspect of cubing? I think, just how it lets me relax. I feel like for a lot of people, like when they just have nothing to do, they have to either, like play a lot of video games or like just do a lot of other stuff. But for me, I just I always have something to do. That's just like what I really like about it. I just always have something to do when there's nothing to do. And I know I keep on saying that, but it's so true. Like honestly, I don't really think about cubing that much. It's just something that I just, when I have nothing to do, I just pick up a cube, start turning it, and it just comes like so naturally at this point. It's not something that I really think about, thinking, oh yeah, what's my 66 PB? Okay, I really need to go this time. Like I don't really make goals. I just kind of do it. My main focus with cubing really just is the channel. I feel like the reason why I'm still cubing is because of the channel. If it wasn't for the channel, I probably wouldn't have continued cubing for like a while now. But yeah, so that's how I feel about cubing at the moment.
What are your thoughts on all the recent cubing innovations such as budget cubes, the GAN 11M Pro, and GAN getting into other events besides just 3x3?
So, okay, in terms of budget cubes, yeah, budget cubes are getting really good. I remember when I first started cubing, we had the Guanlong, which was a $4 cube, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It was like a far step behind, normal cube. It just felt a lot less like higher quality, and just overall just didn't turn that well. But nowadays, like budget cubes feel the exact same as like normal cubes at this point. Like maybe like a tiny step behind, but it's pretty close. Like sometimes I even switch to like a budget cube, and sometimes they perform even better. Now in terms of like big cubing innovations, I honestly don't really keep up that much, because like I just really do 6x6. I don't really like keep track of like cubing news. I don't really keep track of like new cubing innovations. And so like whenever, for example, like that new GAN 11 Pro M came out, I don't really know what's new about it. I didn't really bother looking into that. But like, I really like how they're going into different events. I would wish they would go into like bigger cubes, 5x5, 6x6. That would be super interesting, see how they would do there. I don't anticipate them being too good at the big cubes. I don't know why. I just don't see an amazing GAN 6x6 coming out anytime soon. I think I'm just gonna be staying with YJ for now. Yeah, honestly, when it comes to like new cubes, I think you'll realize this with my channel. Before I used to make a ton of cubing unboxings and reviews, and like that was like my main content. And then as time progressed, I stopped making those videos because that's just something I wasn't really passionate about. And what I was more passionate about is just making more general videos. The content that I'm making right now is just whatever feels most natural. And so that's like, doing like more reaction videos or commentary videos, just fun stuff that is more relaxing for me, I guess. And so I don't really keep track of cubes too often. I don't really take a look at like the newest 3x3, the newest 6x6. I just, when cubes are released, I know that they're released. If other people are talking about it a lot, I'll probably get it. But overall, I don't really get a lot of cubes.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see because some people are just really all about new cubes and cubing news, and some people don't really care as much. It's cool to see the difference between all these cubers and YouTubers. So,
Yeah, I used to be like that.
on that topic of YouTubers or cubing YouTubers, how do you see cubing YouTubing going in the next 5 years?
So in terms of cubing YouTubers, I think that tutorial videos are still going to always be big because people are constantly wanting to learn more about cubing, and so channels like JPerm, they're still going to be big up there. But something that I would love for to happen with cubing YouTube is to just overall like catch up with normal YouTube. I feel like in terms of just YouTube videos in general, Kiwi's a little bit behind compared to the rest of YouTube. You don't really get a lot of like video essays. You don't really get a lot of like just normal content. And I would love to change that. Because a lot of the videos, it's mostly just like reviews, unboxings, those type of things. And although like that's fine, although a lot of people like that, I would love YouTube Cubing to become like more mainstream. And also I think that just in 5 years from now, it's going to become more and more competitive, but also more and more freeing. There's going to be more cubers, but I feel like the people at the top, they're going to constantly be like upping their game, and so in order to reach those people, you gotta also like be on top of your game. And so overall, I think it's going to be like more competitive, because that's just how YouTube is. But I would love to see it be like a lot more mainstream. Now, in terms of like channels, I think are going to be big. I'm not sure. I feel like the big one of the big like a lot of the biggest channels right this moment were not known at all. 5 years ago. Like that was the case for me. That was the case for Cube Rhythms. That was exactly the case for JPerm. And so who knows? Like 5 years from now, maybe it'll be like an entirely different atmosphere because that's how it was. 5 years ago, when like my YouTube, I guess like generation was coming up. And so yeah, I hope that I can still be like a big player in the YouTube space. 5 years from now. But who knows? We'll never see.
Alright. So, I didn't really intend for this interview to be too long because I know you're busy. However, for the last topic that I would like to touch on is what would you like to personally say to the new YouTubers coming up now and who might come up in the next couple months?
Just go for it. Like you have to be willing to put in the work. My channel, I remember for a long time, it wasn't really growing that much. And for the longest time, I wondered, oh, why isn't this happening? Is YouTube just not promoting my videos? What's the problem? And it's just overall because I wasn't putting that much work into it. You can't expect to grow that quickly if you're only making one video every single month and the video's not that great. You have to be uploading a ton or making like really amazing videos. It was only until I started actually putting effort into the videos when it started growing. And when I say effort, I mean, like real effort. For 5 months straight, I was uploading a video every single day, 4 to 5 to 6 hours of work every single day, waking up, like super exhausted sometimes because I spent the entire day thinking of the video, and some days I'll be editing until 5 a.m. So if you're willing to become that big on YouTube and really willing to get on that level, you have to be willing to put in that work. It's not for a lot of people. I know a lot of people who wouldn't be able to put in the work, but if you want to be at that level and you want to be one of the biggest in cubing, that's what you have to be doing, because otherwise there's going to be someone else doing that kind of work and they're going to be able to pass you. And so yeah, you just got to put in the work, honestly. It's people underestimate how much work it takes to be a YouTuber, and like although it's a very freeing job, and you're able to do whatever you want, which is amazing. you know there's a lot of effort put into it. There's a lot of hours. There's a lot of late nights, and although that could be fun sometimes, it could also be a lot of work, and it could also be extremely tiring at other times. But you just gotta be willing to do it. It depends. Obviously, don't do it if you don't want to, though, because whatever it's basically whatever your passion is. If you have a passion towards something else, then put everything into that something else. But if your passion really is cubing on YouTube, then you gotta be able to be willing to put everything into it, and I mean like everything. It's not. You don't play with YouTube. I think that's how it is. Like you could play other things. When it comes to like TikTok or like Instagram, yeah, you don't have to put that much work. But for YouTube, it's such like a developed atmosphere, and it's so competitive because these are some people's like full-time jobs, that in order to get to that level, you have to be beating the people who have that full-time job in terms of like video quality, in terms of like just commitment, which isn't for the faint of heart. And so yeah, over like you can't play YouTube. It's a different it's a different monster. But if you're willing to do it, then you will be successful. Like I promise you. And also, if you still haven't started a channel yet, but you want to, just start. Like don't stay in analysis paralysis. Don't be like, oh, I don't know whether or not I want to start because I don't know whether or not I have a good camera. I don't know if I'm going to grow. I don't have any video ideas. Just start. Don't stay in analysis paralysis. Just get started. Make the next video. And, maybe your first video is going to be terrible. You make another video. You learn more. You make another video. You see something wrong with that video. You try to make another one. And eventually, you'll learn and learn until you finally have, like, really great videos. I've made 430 videos at this point. You like my first videos, they were terrible, but it was a continuous growing process. Like the videos I'm making right now, the quality was not how it was when I first started, and I didn't even know what I was doing when I first started. But I guarantee you, after you make 300, 400 videos, you're gonna know what you're doing.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I'll definitely reflect on that advice. But that's a wrap for this interview. Any last words for the audience?
Not much. Guys, so I haven't been uploading that much lately, but once college apps are done, I'm gonna be putting it into it. I'm gonna start working hard at it again. So yeah, I'll be back. And overall, if you haven't started a YouTube channel for cubing and you want to, just start and put everything into it because it's gonna be worth it. Like when I first started YouTube, I didn't really think that it was going to get me anywhere. But 5 years later, and here we are, and it's basically my entire life. It's like it's what makes me, I guess it's basically like how I be me. I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah.
Alright, amazing. So, once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and that's all. Bye!